Okay, hello. I'm whispering because it's late at night and I don't want to like wake anybody up in the house, but I'm in the mood to write something fun. I was thinking about how fun it would be as like a little writing workshop, as a little writing activity to see if I could write a short film in an hour. And the reason why I want to do this activity is because I'm really trying to channel this quote. I can't remember it. Okay, I found the quote, which it's make it exist first, make it good later. And I wish I could just take that quote and just like, and I just really want to lean into this quote more because I feel like I don't do that. And I really always just want it to be good immediately, which is so not the case when it comes to creating anything. And the thing is, like, it's probably already good. You know what I mean? Like, it's probably already good. Anyway, I digress. The reason why I want to do this activity today is because I really want to start putting that quote into practice, where I'll set a timer for myself, and the timer isn't to create like a boundary of stress. I feel like the timer's job is primarily, to stop me from any kind of hesitation because I don't have time for that. Am I saying words that make sense right now? I really hope so because I'm about to write. So I don't know if you guys remember this. She's back. All I've written so far is the date. Okay, now I'm going to explain what I'm doing. The goal of this challenge is to write a short film in 60 minutes. I'm going to find a prompt generator. The random prompt generator is going to give us the seeds of our new story. And then I'm going to do 15 minutes for brainstorming, another 15 minutes to write an outline, very brief outline, and then 30 minutes is dedicated to writing a script. So, can I do it? Can you even see? I hope so. If not, imagine 15 minutes for an outline. Is that a lot of time for an outline? We'll see. Me writing down everything I just said to you. Right. Okay, I need to put you on a really good prompt generator that I found recently. And it's an art prompt generator. So if you're a visual artist, I feel like this would be more up your alley. But I still use it for writing prompts. Okay, so it's this site. You know what? Every time I spin the screen, I always put a screenshot anyway. So in this prompt, you have theme, item, character, color palette, mood, and challenge. If I'm ever using this prompt generator to write something, I usually don't pick every single prompt that they give me because I kind of just pick and choose. And so we're going to use this today. And then for timers, I'm going to use my Fitbit for like the 15 minutes, and 30 minutes. But for the overall timer, guys, do you guys know Focus Friend by Hank Green, one half of the Vlogbrothers? Anyway, he came out with an app called Focus Friend. This is my room, by the way. Room tour. This is not an ad. Hank Green does not know who I am. Hank Green does not know I exist. But this is his app. But basically, you get a little bean that you can name. And mine's Charlie Bean because my dog's name is Charlie, obviously. It starts in this empty room. And then you have to focus. And when you focus and you set a timer, I'm really impressed that I'm doing this with one hand right now, like this too. I'm looking at the screen. Anyway, you set a timer. So let's say 60 minutes. Then you click start. And what Charlie Bean is gonna do is he's gonna knit socks. And why is he knitting socks? I don't know. He just likes it. But with the socks that he knits, you can buy things. I think over here. Oh my god, I'm literally so good at doing this. I did not know this was a talent that I had. Anyway, cool app. So this is what I'm going to use to set the 60-minute timer because then it was already on 60. I don't know why I moved it. Then I can get socks out of this activity too. So, duh. Okay, I think I said everything that needs to be said. So I think we're just going to start. How am I going to do this? How are you guys going to see? Should I just speak out loud? Is that weird? Whatever, who cares? Here's the thing, I just want everyone to know that I'm not faking this. Not that I think that you would think that, but I just want everyone to know that I don't have the energy to be faking this. I just want to play. Create new prompt. Ready? Go. Exploration, fireplace, lizard, red, white, and rose. Mood, surreal. Challenge, use one shape to form everything. Okay, well, the challenge does not apply to me, but here are the things that I already like. Because I'm not going to pick everything. Did I say that already? Is anybody going to be mad about that? Because if you're going to be mad, take that outside. I like exploration. Wait, I didn't set the timer. I'm terrible at this. Start. Look, he's knitting. He's knitting. That's so cute. Okay, and now I'm going to set a timer for 15 minutes. 15 minutes on the timer. Go. I like exploration. Fireplace I like. I don't know, but I already have like visions of somebody discovering like a cabin in the woods maybe. The character of a lizard. I don't hate it, so let's keep her there. Exploration, fireplace, lizard. Red, white, rose. That's the color palette, but like that does not apply to me. Red, white, rose. I'm just gonna write honestly, I don't know why I'm picking and choosing. I'm just gonna write everything down to know that I have this at my disposal. Surreal, and then use one shape to form everything that is not applicable to me. But what if it's somebody who like is magical and can like form, and I don't know what I'm saying. And this is just how my brain works. I'm spitballing ideas. Some might be like have potential, some might be so bad, but hey, okay, who cares? We could go fantasy route. We can do fantasy. A lizard who's a wizard goes on an adventure. Also, it could be silent. There could be no dialogue at all. How much time do I have left? 11 minutes. Oh. Is it somebody's pet? Pet lizard escapes terrarium. Do they live in a terrarium? Exploring the house. Is he friends with the dog? Do they, when owners are not home, mess around? Huh? Not inappropriately. Or do they become unlikely friends? But why would they become unlikely friends? And what does a fireplace have anything to do with becoming unlikely friends? Okay, what else can you think about? How can a lizard learn a lesson? Also, if I get to the end of this timer and I don't have an idea I like, I'm going with this lizard best friends with the dog vibe. Maybe, hold on, okay. If I'm gonna go the fantasy route, and these are all like, not anthropomorphic animals, they're just like, because they're not like, well, I guess they are if they're doing like human type things, so maybe it is anthropomorphic. Anyway, what if this lizard, grumpy old man, and the town kind of like dislikes him? And what's the town? Some kind of reptilian cottagecore town, okay? They got fireplaces, it's cottagecore. And this short film is about how this old man finds community, and maybe lizard man lost his lizard wife, and that's why he's grumpy. And one morning he wakes up and there's no wood for his fireplace. Has to go on an adventure. I think it would be cute, but what if he wasn't a grumpy old man? How much time do I have left? 7 minutes. Okay, I have this idea of maybe, I have this scene in my head. I feel like right now it's gonna be silent, this film, but I have this scene in my head where he's doing, this old man lizard is doing like a bunch of these like tasks, and he is like prepping some, he's going on this big like adventure. I know he's, okay, the theme is exploration. He's exploring. I guess he's not really exploring, but what about, okay, pause on the exploration. I don't really have an adventure for this man, but let me twist this in a way that could be like an exploration on love and grief, because picture this old man lizard doing like everyday, not everyday tasks, he's doing something. That's not a good explanation. I have a point to what I'm about to say. Picture this old man lizard, and he gets up in his like cottagecore home, and it's him getting dressed like really nicely, real nice. And by, I don't mean like a 3-piece tux, but like he's just like making himself look presentable. And he walks by his calendar, and there's a heart next to it on the date that it is currently. We as an audience see that, and he just walks by it. And so clearly, like, today is a special occasion. It's this old man lizard who then spends the rest of his day doing a lot of tasks to get ready for whatever this special day is, like cutting firewood and cleaning the house and going into town. How much time do I have left? 4 minutes. Oh god, I really want the end to be not a plot twist, but I guess it is a plot twist. But he's doing all of this to celebrate his wife's birthday, but lizard wife is no longer with us. And so how do I reveal that? How do I create a sense of this feeling of the audience, you know, watching this old man prepare such festivities, to see where that ends? And it ends in this like moment of like grief. And seeing the power of love through grief. Like, how do I put elements of her? Like, she's still a character. Lizard wife is still a character. And so how do I make her presence feel so strong in the room, even though we don't know who it's for? I also feel like this idea has been done, so I feel like I'm plagiarizing something, but I don't even know what. I'm sure this idea already exists. Like, I'm not the first to think about like an old man prepping something for only the thing to be a dead person. But it's what I gotta go with. I have 1 minute and 19 seconds. Okay, I think that's what I'm gonna go with. And when we get into outlining, I'm sure it will come to us. And we're just gonna go for it. Is it entertaining? That seems like a personal opinion, and I can't make that for you. I don't know. This idea seems kind of bad. Okay, so we're going with Old Man Lizard exploring grief. That seems like a cop-out, but whatever. Fireplace. This fireplace is like really, I'm struggling with this fireplace, and I don't know why. I can't think about it too much. It's not meant to be good, right? It's just meant to exist. Okay, because it's her birthday, he's doing everything. He's gonna goes into town, buys flowers, red, white roses. What else? He goes to buy birthday cake, birthday present. What would the birthday present be? She's dead. Or maybe he bakes a cake. I feel like that would make it longer if he baked a cake. He buys all this stuff. He runs his errands to get stuff ready for the big day. And when he gets home, he's all hands on deck, montage vibes. I feel like this is gonna be a very quick short film. Also, by the way, this is all animated. That's how I'm seeing it in my head. It's an animated film. All hands on deck, baking, messy, whatever, and he's working up a sweat. He's fixing his glasses. He can't see a damn thing. He's old. Bakes his cake, takes it out of the oven. But okay, so he finishes baking the cake, and he's like looking at the fruit of his labor. Yeah, the fruit of his one laborious act. Instead of putting it on the counter table, he walks right by it, and he goes out the door, and he goes into his backyard, and out in the garden are the flowers that he bought, the balloons, and let's say like a hat. He bought her a hat because she loved wearing hats, and all of that is right in front of her tombstone, and he's celebrating her birthday because that date on the tombstone coincides with the date that we saw earlier in the calendar. Well, obviously this is her birthday, but that would be a fun detail. He's there until the sun sets, and like they're drinking wine. He buys wine, and he's like speaking out loud, but we can't see what he's saying. When the night finds him, he packs up, brings everything inside, lights a fire in his fireplace. There's 2 armchairs, and he sits in one, and they're quite close to each other, and he hangs his hand out. As the film ends, we see this like ghost, not a ghost, but like there's a word specifically for this, where like, let's imagine I'm sitting here and all of a sudden my face like dissolves and it turns into me, but like a younger version of me. Does that make sense? He turns into a younger version of himself, and then his wife, is also there with him by the armchair. It's them in the past, and it's like her on her birthday again, and like it'll be her wearing a different hat, sitting by the fire, and her with her balloons and her with her flowers, but it's on a different year, obviously. And so that indicates to us as an audience that this is a tradition that he does for her, where, you know, he goes out and he bakes her a cake, and he buys her wine, he buys her flowers, and he buys her a new hat. And maybe somewhere in the house there could just be like a coat rack, but instead of coats, it's just funky hats, because she loves a funky hat. That way, we also, as an audience in this short film, get to know a little bit more about the wife, who is a character, even though she isn't physically, you know, mortal. What time is it? 1:42. I didn't write anything down. Well, you know what? I set the outline and I remember it. So if I don't have time to write it all down, I have a minute. Okay. I think I got it. I think I can do it. I think that's our film. Will it be good? I need to be a little bit more positive, actually. I think it will be fine. Okay, now it's time to write. Also, this is what it looks like, by the way. So it's not like any of this is legible. This is my brainstorm. These are my notes. Don't ask me what these mean. I don't know. My hand just moves where it feels like it. Now I'm going to set a 15 That's a lie. Now I'm gonna set a 30-minute timer and we're just gonna write. There's no making it perfect. There's no making it like Oscar worthy, but I think I'm gonna start. And it's gonna look a little boring because where can you even see? Should I speak out loud? Okay, I'm just gonna go for it, and whatever comes out of my mouth is what you're gonna get. It's kind of like stressful town, stress town, USA, and you can't even really see me. I've got 30, well, it's 29:59 just to be quite honest with everybody, but I'm gonna start it now, and I'm just gonna write. It's really not that big of a deal. It really isn't. And okay, we're going. He needs a name. It doesn't matter. Old lizard. Old lizards. The vibe of this neighborhood is everything is in walking distance. It's a walkable town, and like you have one post office, and you have one bakery, and you have one grocery store. It's like that kind of vibe. What's her name? What's her name? Lizard. Liz. What if her name is Liz and her last name is Zerd? Elizabeth Zerd. That's stupid, but I kind of like it. Time is up. Time is up. Do you hear that? It's also my alarm clock. I don't hate it. I really don't hate it. The fact that we wrote this in 1 hour, I don't hate it. Here are my reflections. That was kind of intense, but it wasn't as scary as I thought it would be. It was really fun, actually. There were moments of intensity, but like I feel like that's always just part of a challenge. Otherwise it wouldn't be a challenge. Based off of the amount of time that we had to write this, I'm pretty proud of what we came up with. I like the idea. I think it definitely could be fleshed out more. I also think it's like an idea that people have done before, so I don't think it's very original. With the prompts that we were given, I think that we were kind of able to hit a lot of those notes, like fireplace and lizard and red, white, and rose. The exploration, I kind of went with this like really subjective route of like exploring grief, and I think that still counts. And I think we've come a far long way from lizard falls into a fireplace. And I think oh, I have to show you. Look, let's see how many beans he made. Beans? Scarves. No, not scarves, socks. Jesus. And how much? I have 130 socks now. Guys, I'm almost able to afford, what can I afford? A poster or a garland. I'm saving up for this. I'm saving up for that. Okay, now I think it would only be appropriate to read it out loud. No title. I didn't think about that. It really did not cross my mind. Also, it's always weird to read a screenplay out loud, especially one with no dialogue, because it's just a list of actions, which I love that about screenwriting because you can't afford to like write the same amount of detail as you would in like regular prose. So it's always weird to read it out loud, in my opinion, but that's just what it is. You know what I mean? Okay, I'm also gonna put it on the screen, but I never sit far enough. And every time I put anything up on the screen, half my face is gone. Also, I'm not reading the slug line because I just don't want to, and it's gonna be up here. Okay. Old Lizard sleeps in his bed. Morning sunrise peeks through his windows. His alarm goes off, and he snoozes it. He groans while getting up in his blue and white striped pajamas and reaches for his glasses on the bedside table. He yawns and stretches and slow blinks himself awake. Old Lizard pulls himself out of bed and walks by a calendar on the way to the bathroom. September 5th has a circle around it with a heart in the middle. He gives it a kiss. Now we're in the bathroom. Old Lizard sheds his skin and uses a toothbrush to brush his scales. Now we're back in his bedroom. Old Lizard dresses himself for the day, a nice button-up shirt with a bow tie. He smiles at himself in the mirror and nods. Old Lizard makes a coffee to go and a tea for here. He places the tea on the kitchen table. Old Lizard walks past a coat rack with crazy funky hats on it. He grabs a plain baseball cap and walks out the door. Now we're in the small town. Old Lizard walks into town, the very walkable town. I'm gonna change that too. Sorry, I'm making changes. I'm so sorry. He nods to the people that wave to him. He heads towards the party store. Now we're in the party store. Old Lizard walks into the party store and exchanges a handful of coins for a bunch of balloons. As he leaves, he hands one of the balloons to a small salamander child and pats him on the head. The rest he ties to his wrist. Interior flower shop morning. Okay, I guess I am reading the slug lines now. Old Lizard walks into the flower shop and walks across the different bouquets available. He comes across a bouquet of red and white roses. He pays for the bouquets and he leaves the store. Now we're in the hat store. Old Lizard walks into the hat store and is looking for the right hat. He stumbles across a beautiful red sun hat with a white ribbon. He looks at the hat, and then he looks at the flowers, and he smiles with knowing. Now we're in a wine store. Old Lizard enters the wine store and picks out a rosé that has 2 dancing lizards on the front. Now we're back in his house. Early afternoon. Montage. Old Lizard is in his kitchen baking up a storm. He is mixing batter and squinting while he reads the recipe book. He is tasting his batter. He is smiling. He is listening to music and dancing. When the cake is out of the oven, he is piping them with beautiful vibrant colors and writing happy birthday on it. Old Lizard finishes the cake by putting a candle in it. He dusts his hands off and picks up the cake and begins to walk towards the kitchen table. However, Old Lizard walks past the table, where the cup of tea is still sitting there full. Old Lizard walks towards his front door. Now we're outside in his yard. Late afternoon. Old Lizard walks with the cake around his house and into his backyard. Down on the grass on a red and white checkered picnic blanket are 2 wine glasses, the rosé, the bouquet of flowers, and the balloons tied down to a rock. Beside the picnic setup is a tombstone. Old Lizard places the birthday cake down in the blanket. He pours the wine, lights the candle, and he cheers up to the sky. Cheers his glass. There we go. Old Lizard then blows the candle out and pulls out the red and white sun hat and places it on her tombstone. It reads, Elizabeth Zerd, loving wife, September 5th, 1965 to January 3rd, 2024. I made up these dates. I don't know. Old Lizard's yard, late afternoon to sunset. Old Lizard stays out by his wife's tombstone until the sun sets. He laughs with her and he talks to her. When the sun goes down and the stars come out, Old Lizard gets up from the blanket, fixes the sun hat, and places the kiss on the top of the tombstone. Old Lizard goes back inside his house. Old Lizard lights a fire in his fireplace and sits down on an armchair. There is another armchair directly beside him, empty. Old Lizard watches the fire and he shuts his eyes. Versions of their younger selves appear on the armchairs. A younger Old Lizard and a younger Elizabeth Zerd in a funky hat sit side by side on the armchairs holding hands. There are balloons, rosé, flowers, and a half-eaten birthday cake around them. And that's the end. Fade out. So not very long, but I feel like it's 2.5 pages. But I feel like it's 2.5 pages because there's no dialogue. If this were to be animated out, it could be longer than like what this is. Okay, yeah, that's it. Anyway, that was my activity today for the group, and that's actually also all I have to offer the group today. And an hour ago I didn't have this, and now I have a whole short film, and I really like it. It's obviously not the best thing I've ever written, but to write something in a time crunch of an hour, I thought that was pretty fun, and I also think it's a pretty decent story. I really recommend to do a writing challenge, specifically if you're having like any kind of block, like writer's block or any kind of art block. Just like do something like this. It's not for any project, it's not for anything for your job, it's just for fun. I love writing and I love being able to like document this process. I think it's kind of cool, and yeah, I'm excited to edit this also. I have no idea what I was saying for the past hour. Also, take this prompt and like tell me what you would have came up with in the comments if you want to. Do whatever you want. Love it when people comment. Love when people speak to me. I love to talk. So, and what else? Like this video, because I know that helps. And if you want to subscribe, you can do it. Do whatever you want. I am going to stop talking now because it's almost midnight. So I'm going to go. Have a great rest of your day, rest of your night, rest of your afternoon. Have a great life. Be fun. Have fun. Go play. Okay, bye.